A shooting and hostage-taking in southwestern France. According to Agence France-Presse, a news agency, a police officer was shot and a man has taken hostages at a supermarket in two separate incidents. The policeman was shot in the town of Carcassonne, while a gunman fired shots during a hostage-taking Friday morning at a supermarket in the nearby town of Trèbes, just 15 minutes drive away. Officials are saying that the gunman is claiming allegiance to the Islamic State group. Let's cross now to France 24's Chris Bockman, who's in Toulouse. Chris, clearly a developing story, but what more can you tell us?
Well, I think one thing we need to know is that Carcassonne's actually got quite a big military barracks there. There's a large military presence in that city. And so if there has been an attack deliberately focusing on that shooting on the military, that could be one reason why, because of the high military presence there. We're also right now at the anniversary. I don't want to put too many things too close together, but we're at the 6th anniversary of the Mera attacks in Toulouse, which is taking place now, the commemoration events. Could that be a link? Could he claiming also to the Yndks connection? So that's also something which we can't be ruled out. On the other hand, we've also had other gunmen who've held markets and banks hostage in the past in this region, who've also claimed to be connected to Islamic fanatics, and they haven't. They've actually just been unstable people. So at the moment, it is a developing story. I wouldn't put too much into the emphasis about the Yndks connection yet. However, there is our large military presence in that city, which is also a very touristy place. As many people know, it's called the City de Carcassonne, which has a beautiful medieval walled fortress town. So there'll be a lot of tourists there as well, especially as the weekend is just we're in the weekend.
Chris, again, just recapping, we're hearing that a police officer has been injured and hostages have been taken. Do we have any idea as to the well-being of those hostages, whether the police have managed to at least contain the area?
No, I'm actually on my way there now, and from what I understand, the police have sealed off the area, so we don't have access, so we don't actually know what the situation is with the hostages. Clearly, if they're going to a local supermarket, they will have relatives who live in the area, and they'll be making their way and probably trying to call them, but they're probably being told that they can't use their phones in that supermarket. So I think at the moment, we really just don't know what's going on.
As you say, it's very much a developing story, Chris, and you're on your way to the actual area. But just give us a sense about Trèbes and Carcassonne. I mean, they're fairly close together. They're only about 15 minutes drive apart, I understand.
That's right. I mean, Trèbes is actually right next to the quite well-known Canal du Midi, the very beautiful canal which goes from around Bordeaux down towards Narbonne. It's a kind of a sleepy town on the outskirts of Carcassonne. A lot of actually houseboats are actually moored on the canal over there. A lot of people who work in Carcassonne live in Trèbes. Like I said, it's a very sleepy part of the southwest of France, really. And a lot of tourists go there as well by bike along the canal. It's not something you associate with this kind of thing. Like I say, it's a very residential community, very leafy community. And usually it's basking in sunlight. It's a very good climate down there. And again, Carcassonne's a very touristy place. Many people who go down on the coast, they stop off in Carcassonne because of the amazing fortress, medieval fortress town, which is right next to the modern part of Carcassonne. On the other hand, it has a large military presence. It's actually not a very wealthy city. It's quite poor. Like much of that part of France, it feels kind of cut off from the prosperous part of Toulouse and Montpellier. It feels kind of far away from those. And they have quite a big high unemployment rate and a large immigrant population who used to work in the agriculture and in the vineyards around Carcassonne.
Chris, you were saying there that today is actually the 6th anniversary of the events in Toulouse where Mohamed Merah shot a number of school children and two French soldiers. Just recap what actually happened on that day and what's happened since.
Well, Mohamed Merah, if you may remember, was just basically a French-born local youth of Algerian origin who didn't have many jobs and went into delinquency, and then he sort of turned and went to Afghanistan and Pakistan and Algeria, where it was became a fanaticized young youth, came back and he attacked soldiers in Montauban, and then he killed another soldier in Toulouse, and then of course ultimately he went on a shooting spree at a Jewish school, killing 3 people there. And then, of course, when he was found, he was holed up in a flat in Toulouse for a couple of days before he was actually killed by special French forces. And that was really, at the time, it was the first kind of the wave that we've known since then of attacks by often lone wolves, as they called them, or organized by Daesh in the Middle East on European targets, and especially French ones. And it happened over a week's period in this part in Toulouse and Montauban. And so the commemoration events really just started a couple of days ago, and they're continuing now as ceremonies are held in Montauban at the school and elsewhere in the region to remember those awful events that happened here 6 years ago.
Chris, stay with us because we'll come back to you in a second. For
drag and drop. It's perfect. Hi, I'm Kurt Hosenbeck, and I use Wix.
All right, we're back. Yeah, so one thing you have to understand is that France is part of my heritage. That's where it all started, the Creole, French Creole. You just gotta understand, France is right down, right above. It's Europe, but you gotta understand, France is right next to, is right there. It's right there next to Italy. It's actually, it's west of Italy. So, you have to understand, a lot of people migrate to these places from all over the world. Mostly from Africa, parts of Europe. Because you have to understand, anything close to the water, next to the ocean, people gonna migrate to. Especially when it's closer to America. So you got people from all over going to these places. And one thing for sure, crime is gonna happen. Crime is gonna happen. Why is crime gonna happen? Because propaganda happens. Propaganda. Misleading information, lies. How many times I gotta tell you? As long as you keep up with this, stuff like this is gonna happen. All over the world, not just America. You have to understand though, there's a lot of Americans all over the world. A lot of Americans set up camp. Putting it in there. Putting in work. You think these people don't see that? You think people don't feel that? You want them to start jumping on the bandwagon? How it is here? They've been doing it even when I was in Germany. Come on. We were the only ones acting a fool over there. We were. Anywhere we go, there's going to be some serious destruction involved. Does it have to be that way? No, it doesn't have to be that way. It's a choice. But hopefully everything turns out right with the hostages in the supermarket, because one thing we don't want to do is make it worse, especially if you haven't gotten there yet. So what we gotta start doing is recognizing the propaganda. We gotta recognize the propaganda. The propaganda starts with the propaganda. It starts with the consciousness of it that's in our brains, in our minds. First thing we want to say, what? Let's pray for the victims. Let's pray. But you have to understand, a lot of these words we use in this English language that was given to us through being oppressed. They mean it's one word can have 2-3 different meanings. So whatever is in your heart, I pretty much gotta take it like it's gonna be beneficial to me. Why would it be beneficial to me? When you say you're praying for me, or praying because of me, which praying are you doing? Which praying are you doing? I don't know which praying you're doing. Only the Most High knows which praying you're doing. You could be doing the PRAY or the PREY. And the way I see things all this time, I've been living and been noticing. All I've been seeing is PREY. Cause PRAY, I guess I'm the only one doing that, or been doing that. Let's go again.